We're self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not
Any sect, denomination, politics, organization, or institution does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. Okay, you got that? Will everyone in their first 30 days of recovery or just out of a facility, or if you're new to the area, would you please stand if you're in the room and introduce yourself by your first name only? First 30 days, yes. Hi, Sophie. How about over here?
Oh, Tanner alcoholics.
Hey, Tanner.
Adrian alcoholics.
All right. What's your name? Jason, welcome. Okay, and online, if you would like to raise your hand with that sweet emoji, or just in your video, we'll unmute you. That's if you're in your first 30 days or if you're new to the area. Anybody? No. Can't find anyone? Okay, fine. All right, tonight is chip night. So we have a different format tonight. But before that, just in case, if you're visiting us for the first time and you're in the room, would you please stand and state your name? Sure. Anybody visiting us for the first time tonight? Is there a lot of people? Should you all just stand? It said it in the script and I think I got scared to read it. Yes, starting over here.
I'm not calling from Rocco.
Welcome.
Yeah, alcoholics from Sacramento.
Welcome.
Josh alcoholics, Sacramento.
Welcome.
Danny alcoholic, Rockland.
Danny.
Welcome.
Bob alcoholic, Sacramento. Steve alcoholic, Sacramento.
Steve.
Welcome, Steve.
Alex alcoholic.
Tyler, alcoholic, Sacramento. Tyler.
Dave alcoholic, Sacramento.
Hey.
Mario alcoholic, Sacramento. Jay alcoholic, Roger.
Okay. Hey, Chris.
Katie alcoholic Sacramento.
Hey, non-alcoholic, Sacramento. Victor alcoholic, San Francisco. Jerry alcoholic, San Francisco.
Jerry, welcome. Oh, we're not done. We got one more.
Just alcoholic in Martinez, my first time.
All right. Hey. Okay. We could have missed that. Okay, online, are you visiting from the first time? If you're visiting for the first time, please raise your hand. No, okay. Well, like I was saying, tonight is chip night for anyone and everyone. If you're celebrating a milestone or a birthday, plan on lining up in order of sobriety at the bottom of the steps to my left. After the speaker. So once the speaker's done, feel free to come on up if you'd like to get a chip and line up to my left. Online people, please raise your virtual hand now, and Frank will unmute you after the speaker. So if you're online right now, please raise your virtual hand. I finally know what to say now. It's virtual hand. not emoji. The Love and Service Group believes that sponsorship is an essential part of recovery. If you have questions about what a sponsor is, or if you would like help finding a sponsor, we have our solution squad here in person. They're standing up. And we have our solution squad online. That's Texas Frank and Janet. They'll be available after the meeting. We will now practice the 7 tradition, which states that we are fully self-supporting through our own contributions. This means that we ask that only AA members contribute. Money goes to pay for our group expenses, including our out-of-town speakers, supports our general service district, area and office in New York, as well as our local intergroup. You can contribute using the QR code on the screen or our PayPal ID at Love and Service Group. We also have an H&I pink can on the Literature County counter in the lobby if you would like to contribute to those who are confined. H&I stands for hospitals and institutions. Our group seeks to provide a safe meeting place for all attendees and encourages each person to contribute to fostering a secure and welcoming environment in which our meeting can take place. Therefore, we ask that each person refrain from any behavior which might compromise another person's safety. If you have any concerns, please see one of our safety committee members that are waving their hand in person right there and online. Alcoholics Anonymous is not affiliated with the judicial system or any other outside agency. However, as a courtesy, Christina, she's right there, will sign attendance slips at the literature counter after the meeting. And at this time, it is my pleasure to introduce tonight's Unity panel. We have 3 speakers. They are all from the Sacramento River City Speakers Group. That's right. Clap. Yeah. Up first will be Lainey. She's going to read the group's history, followed by Kevin and Matt. So without further ado, here is Lainey, and thank you.
I'm Lainey, I'm an alcoholic. And this is River City Speakers Group history. In the fall of 2022, Danny B., John M., and Victor S. took a trip to the Bellflower Group in Southern California. Inspired by the welcoming spirit and speaker format there, they envisioned creating a similar weekly meeting in Sacramento, California, one that would embody AA's 3 legacies of recovery, unity, and service. Danny reached out to trusted members Larry T. and Frank A. for guidance on a meeting format and how to start a speaker meeting grounded in AA's principles. A dedicated group of founding members, including Danny B., Lainey J., Tony S., John M., and Austin F., came together and planning officially began in November of 2022. Like many new groups, we faced early challenges, agreeing on location, establishing a format, and learning to practice the key AA principles of love and tolerance. To structure service and support growth, 5 initial service positions were created and filled by a group with all hands on deck. Secretary Danny B., Treasurer Matt N., Speaker Coordinator Lainey J., Meeting Coordinator Tony S., and Harry L. with the most crucial job of coffee setup. We hope and continue to hope that as the meeting grows, so will opportunities for service. The meeting secured a location at St. Luke's Lutheran Church in South Sacramento. The inaugural River City Speakers meeting was held on Friday, February 17th, 2023, with 103 alcoholics in attendance. The turnout was a powerful reminder of the hunger for connection and hope that so many carry. By November of 2023, the meeting had outgrown its initial space, and we found our current home at Faith Legacy Church in Sacramento. Today, River City Speakers averages 180 to 200 attendees weekly, with 15 elected service positions and over 20 service commitments filled by dedicated members. Our growth reflects the Big Book's wisdom, faith without works is dead, and our actions build the foundation for recovery and fellowship. At the heart of our meeting is a guiding message chosen by the group as a beacon of hope for newcomers and old-timers alike. The purpose of this meeting is to meet frequently so that newcomers may find the fellowship they seek, Our hope is that many alcoholic men and women desperately in need will hear our stories, and we believe that it is only by fully disclosing ourselves and our problems that they will be persuaded to say, yes, I am one of them too. I must have this thing. River City Speakers continues to be a welcoming place of willingness, openness, honesty, and humble service, living proof that fellowship and principles of Alcoholics Anonymous can transform lives one meeting at a time. Thanks for having us. And our first speaker is going to be our GSR, Kevin.
Kevin Alcoholic. It doesn't matter how many times I get in front of a bunch of alcoholics, I am nervous. And the reason I'm nervous is because I want to make sure that I'm getting what I was given when I got here. First off, I want to go ahead and thank Lainey. She is our secretary at this meeting, and she's doing an awesome job. And I also want to thank our previous secretary, Matt, and he's doing an awesome job. I'll talk a little bit about them and also the people that are here. First off, thank you to the people who came here, right? Especially on a Sunday. Being in AA, right, we have families, we have other meetings we go to, and they went ahead and came along to represent Sacramento. So thank you to you all. So River City was actually where I got this thing, if you will. So I got in a little bit of trouble. That's what we'll describe it as. 2 drug and alcohol related cases. I was in the military. And when you get arrested twice in a week, that's not okay. So I had to go to recovery, and I went to rehab, and I'm surrounded by a bunch of outside issue users, right? And I'm over here looking at them like just floored, like, wait, you actually do that? Like, you did this, you did that? And I truly didn't relate. I was like, I'm going to get out of here and I'm going to go back to my normal life. Mind you, I just got arrested. I think I'm going to get out of rehab and I'm just going to go back to the military like nothing happened. Little did I know, delusion. So on Saturday night, it was an alumni meeting, and it's a gentleman who was a very active member of River City. I really owe a lot to him. He came in the meeting and in the alumni meeting in rehab, and he talked about having a needle hanging out his arm. And this is the same talk I heard in rehab, right? I couldn't relate to this at all. But what I could relate to was him talking about his father pulling him to the side and just telling him in the car, if you're going to overdose somewhere else because your mother can't handle this. And that's what I put my parents through, man. That's what I put my family through, right? Like, I was only worried about myself when I was out there. Like, I would do wild stuff. Like, me and my buddy flipped my car 3 times, and I called my parents back home, and I was like, yeah, I'm alive though. And then I'm wondering why she's calling me every day after that, right? Like, I've done some other nonsense, right? That's not okay. I'm not from Sacramento, I'm from Houston, but my dad always makes a joke that I got ran out of Houston. So I get out of rehab, right? And just by that one man being in that rehab and telling that story, talking about letting his parents down, it let my guard down. Because some of you may relate to this. When you get here, your guard's all up, right? You think you can't fit in here. And that was my experience. So back to my story, right? I think I'm going back to normal in the military, and they tell me, they're like, you're on probation. You're not going back to your regular life. You're going to sober living. And I'm like, sober living? I'm not trying to get sober. So, man, there was this dude in there who was BSC, and my sponsor's here, so I'm not gonna cuss, but I'm gonna say bat it crazy. I'll let y'all fill that in. But he was happy, like for no reason. But he was still an alcoholic. Like I remember one time he lost signal, and I was a IT guy in the military, and so he lost signal, and instead of maybe like turning his phone off or turning on airplane mode or something like that, he just threw his phone out the window and he came home and he was like, "Man, my phone don't work." Blah, 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 blah. He's going off, and he's like, "Hey, let's go to a meeting." And one of those meetings he would frequent would be River City. And man, I was so lonely at that time. I'm gonna just be totally honest with you, right? Like, I don't like people, but I'm lonely. It's just that weird dilemma we live in. And he'd always bring me to a meeting, but he'd leave me. As soon as we get to the meeting, he'd just walk outside and he'd go smoke. And he didn't even know anybody there. He just wanted to hang out, like, and listen. So I'm sitting in the back row, right? And it's super early. It's probably like an hour before the meeting, right? Only the what do you want to call it? Active AA members, right? Are there that early, right? Like y'all got something to prove clearly or something. But two men picked me off. I see them before they come, right? And I'm like, oh man, somebody about to walk up on me. And so they go to walk up and oh man, my mind runs, right? Like I got that restless alcoholic mind where I'm like, man, should I stand up when they walk up on me or should I stay seated or should I try to keep my head down and act like I'm looking at my phone? They finally get to me. I stand up and this guy asked me, what are you doing here, partner? And I'm like, should I be honest? And I just, yeah, I'm just here. Because that's what I am, right? Like I've been to AA meetings, but I didn't know that I needed what y'all had. But for whatever reason, those little times I would hear and shares would cut through and it would just allow me to keep coming back. And what I know that now to be is that's God. Because I never really had an issue with God when I got here, but I couldn't feel him long enough to do anything different than I was doing. And I got all this stuff going on, right? I got my legal cases. Like I'm getting bad news every time I'm going back to base. They're telling me, hey, it's going to be all right. And then I got other people like my commanders who are keeping it real with me. They're like, you're effed, buddy. And I don't know what to believe. But my sponsor gave me the truth, or my soon-to-be sponsor, he gave me the truth. He told me, he's like, I bet your head's running a mile a minute. He's like, you got that broken record mind. He was like, whatever's bothering you, the record will be spinning. But every time you think about that one thing, it just stops. It just stops. It just stops. And you can't stop thinking about it. And he was like, it's never going to stop, partner. He was like, but what I can guarantee you is you're going to be sober. And he goes on to give me his highlights, right, through Alcoholics Anonymous. Not in a braggadocious way, but it's something that I needed at that time, right? Then he proceeded to try to pass me on to his sponsee. Clearly, I didn't look like the most upstanding individual at the time, you know, but I rode around with his sponsee for a minute and, you know, kind of got to hear that member's experience. And he talked about somebody he was sponsoring who was dealing with losing his son from cancer, his child. And he was saying that, and I don't really know what this means at the time, but I just know this is not something that you hear every day. He talked about how that man on the phone losing his son was helping him. He was trying to comfort that man, but really he was the one being helped, right? Because we deal with losses here in AA, and we don't know how we're necessarily going to get through it, but you got people on that other end that's helping you out, right? That's the fellowship, right? But why is our fellowship so strong? Our fellowship is so strong because we have those traditions, those principles, those concepts, all of those things that we live by. So I'm trying to figure out what sponsor I'm going to pick, right? Because I've been sponsor shopping. And I decide, I'm like, you know what? This guy, who does he think he is? He tried to pass me off. I'm gonna ask him straight up. I'm like, hey man, can you be my sponsor? And he doesn't say yes, right? He puts me to the test. He say, why don't you meet me on Saturday? You're gonna go to a meeting with me, and then you can see if you're interested after that. And so I watched that man chair, but I'm pretty cooked at this moment, right? I got a few outside issues too, but in my head, it's not the hard stuff, right? But I was doing outside issues too. So I'm at this meeting watching my soon to be sponsored chair, and right across the street is where I used to tear the streets up at. And so at this point, I'm like in that mode where am I going to choose this old life or am I going to try something new? It was so many nights I walked by that AA meeting, not knowing that it was right there for us. The answer was right there. All those times I was getting drunk at night, and when I was deflated enough to ask God for help, not really knowing what was wrong, right? Because everything looked okay on the outside, but I was suffering. I asked that man to be my sponsor, and my life changed just because I went to that River City meeting. Man. And what does that look like, right? It started a chain reaction. Where's my River City Rebel at? We got one member. We got one member right there. That River City Rebel used to be like 5, 6 members. We're not there anymore, man. So it was a couple guys from a sober living that we were hanging out at, right? And we used to get ready to go to River City. We all got commitments and we jumped right into it. They pressed us for the longest about wearing suits. We refused to wear suits. I'm a sweatpants kind of guy myself, gray sweatpants. But despite being a half and half, right? Despite being a pretty successful member in the military, other than the character issues, right? That type of stuff taught me to show up and to do what you're supposed to do, even when you don't want to do. Because at the end of the day, I'll do what you tell me to do if it benefits me, but as soon as you turn your head, I'm going to do what I want to do. We're going to round out because he gave me the 5-minute sign. I thought I had more time. We're on 15 or 20, man. Talk to me. What's up?
About 4.
Yeah. So I became an alt GSR actually, right? I was false claiming. She gave me the GSR stamp. I should have corrected it. But man, being in a business meeting and there's a controversial topic going on. I don't know if y'all have done that, but I'm like, dang, bro, it ain't even serious. This is like Bloods and Crips or something. Man. But it is serious, right? Because just like I came in here, right, deflated. I can't get in everything, but man, my life has totally changed. It wasn't how I pictured it was gonna be, right? Like I got kicked out the military. They were well within reason, but I made it through all right. Alcoholics Anonymous showed up for me in court as well. I had letters written for me. Just those commanding officers were really touched by how Alcoholics Anonymous had showed up for me. And one of them actually was shedding a tear as they had to kick me out. But I'm still alcoholic, right? My life isn't perfect. And that's why I need to be around y'all. I remember the final day I got kicked out, I cussed out my commanding officer. And I called my sponsor and said, and you know, we always downplay everything, right? I was like, you know, I might have said a few cuss words to him, but every time I get away from the program, I'm brought right back to it. And what happened was, you owe an amends, don't you, partner? And I know I owe an amends, right? I always know I owe apologies before I get here, but I don't have the courage and I don't have the conviction to do it. But I don't have to live like that anymore because when I live like that, the snowball effect happens, right? Like I don't just get drunk in one day. I just don't mess my life up in one day. Those decisions just snowball, 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 snowball. And then next thing you know, boom. River City, man, River City is a really special place, right? We're all different families from River City. You got a sponsorship line that's over here. You got a sponsorship line over here. You got a sponsorship line over here. But we all come together in harmony for y'all. But, you know, we go back, we'll have our little disagreements, you know, about how the meeting should be ran. But that's family, right? That's something that I didn't have before I came to AA. Our family's very fractured, but when I got here, the reason that attracted me to y'all was not just that word that I talked about, but it was the love that y'all have for each other. Miss Tony right there. Could you wave your hand, Miss Tony? I'm not calling you out, okay? Every Thanksgiving, Miss Tony invites us knuckleheads over who don't have nothing going on, and she fixes mac and cheese, and we'll have a meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous. That doesn't happen if I don't go to River City. There was many holidays, just not being from here, where I spent those, you know, holidays alone. And finally, if I did a good enough job, maybe he'll claim me. Could you raise your hand, Vic? Or no, you don't want to be called out. I'm gonna give him his kudos. So on Christmas, we got to have Christmas dinner with our sponsors. The grand sponsors were over there. I'm just gonna go over. That's what alcoholics do. But I don't get to experience those moments if it's not for me going to River City. So I'm gonna go ahead and let Matt Niedermeyer round it off. And truly, thank y'all.
My name's Matt. I'm an alcoholic. It's good to be here tonight. It's good to be sober. Thank you for inviting us out to your meeting. It is always an honor and privilege to participate in a meeting with Alcoholics Anonymous. And, you know, I can't even say anything else without introducing Danny here. Danny was our founding member with Laney and a couple other, and Tony, and there were two other people that just didn't make it. So that's kind of how meetings start, right? So I showed up at River City the second night it opened up, and I became the treasurer, and I've been there ever since. And I really didn't have any intention of becoming a member of River City, but it was like a lot this morning, right? Like I woke up in the morning, I went and met a sponsee. I explained to him the fourth column and in the fourth step, and watched his face just fall with confusion and depression. And Laney sends me a text and tells me that we're meeting at pizza at Vacaville. Everybody's leaving at 12 and getting there at 1:30, and this meeting doesn't start till 6. And I'm sitting there meeting with this guy going, I'm not doing that, I'm just not doing that. And, and that's the thing with Alcoholics Anonymous. Like, I could say I'm not doing that all I want, as long as I'm putting the tie on and getting ready and my feet are taking me to the meeting, right? I've learned a long time ago, if I listen to this thing, man, I'm in trouble. And, so I called up Tony and went and picked her up, and we went and had lunch with about 30 people, and 15 of them stood today and said they're from Sacramento. I'd like to thank the other 15 who didn't, My great grand sponsor said there's nothing sicker than an alcoholic with his hand up, So, but I don't know, I'd like to thank Kevin for speaking. Kevin came in as new and to River City, and I don't know if I was secretary. Yeah, I think it was secretary at that point. And the other guy that gets a shout out tonight is Nick. Nick is I tell you what, if Nick wasn't opening that door, we wouldn't be having a meeting. You know, and this little guy, Harry, is like a Sam Elliott wannabe, but a little bit shorter, right? And Harry would come in a suit and he was just kind of a mess and he would make our coffee and open up the door. And Danny did that for the first year. And that first year of the meeting, I mean, we would have to supply somebody in and there'd be 40 people who showed up. And it was, you know, it was, we had kind of our ups and downs and it's been great to be part of that meeting and watch it grow and become part of something. And, you know, Friday night is, it's not my home group. My home group is the 12th Christian Big Book group in Folsom at 7:00 at Journey Church. And, but River City is my second home group, if you will, right? It's a place that I'm at, on Friday night. And I, you know, it's like getting here and going to lunch and just being a part of Alcoholics Anonymous and a big caravan and like all those things, right? When I don't want to go do those things and I just go participate in Alcoholics Anonymous and I get to be a part of something bigger than me. And I owe my life to Alcoholics Anonymous. And, you know, I got here in 2003. My first AA meeting was in 1986. I was 15 years old. I just got arrested at a Grateful Dead concert in Oakland. And back in 86, the Dead shows they were the shit. I know I'm not supposed to use profanity, but those shows were great. I never really went into the concerts, but the parking lots were just, they were phenomenal, you know? I mean, how that looked is we would pull up a van to a hospital. I don't want to say the city that it's in. And we would open up the back of the doors of the Scooby-Doo van and we would take a pair of or big bolt cutters and we would cut the lock on the fence and open it up, cut the other lock to the nitrous tanks and throw two in the back and off we go. And, you know, I mean, I started early. I was 15 years old when that happened. And, you know, we would do that with dentist's office and do that. And sometimes we wouldn't even go to the Dead. We would just drag that big old 250-pound tank up to the train tracks up in Chatsworth Park and trip out and drink and throw a big old bonfire on the train tracks and party in a train tunnel until the train came. And, you know, I think about like the younger years of drinking and man, they were fun. Like I had a really good time drinking. The problem is that, problems start to happen after a while. And, you know, I went from, you know, spent a bunch of time in juvenile halls and spent a bunch of time in county jails. And by the time I was 25 years old, I'd seen 7 different county jails in California. And I got locked up, incarcerated 17 different times. And the only reason I know that is because I had to go get my contractor's license and do like a report and write out everything that I had done. And, you know, and they want to know the cause for everything. And the cause at this point is alcoholism. You know, and, you know, I got here in 2003. I was homeless. I was living in my truck and I was a mess. And I remember going into this structured meeting in Folsom. It was a big book meeting. It was at 8:00 on Monday night and secretary's in a tie and you know, the coffee is in the back behind this rolling gate. And, you know, at 8:00, they close the coffee and I'm like, dude, why are they closing the coffee, man? What am I going to do? Like, cause I'm a guy who gets up and has a cigarette halfway through the meeting and I'm going to get coffee and I'm going to go to the bathroom and I'm just going to do what the hell I want to do. I mean, I came to the meeting, right? That's what I'm supposed to do. I'm alcoholic. I'm raising my hand. I'm saying that. I have no idea what that means, but I'm in Alcoholics Anonymous, right? I'm taking up a seat. And I did that for the next 2.5 years. And the only thing that changed was my sobriety date and my girlfriend, you know? And I don't even know if they were my girlfriends, you know? But like I was a mess, you know? I just didn't know what being alcoholic was. I raised my hand and say I'm alcoholic, but I don't know what the hell that means. I mean, I think it's because I drink too much. And after 2.5 years without a solution, I'm going home at night and I just want to die. You know, I just want to put a bullet in my head. I don't want to be here anymore. I can't sleep. My anger's through the roof. I can't hold a relationship. I can't hold conversations. Like my relationship with my family is just getting worse. Like things are getting pretty bad, right? And like I'm really not trying to drink. And it's just not fixing my problem. And So I ended up asking this guy to sponsor me that I really didn't like too much. That meeting with the click, 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 I left that meeting and didn't come back for 2.5 years because they were just a little too serious. And I went back to that meeting, and behind the coffee is this guy that I just can't stand. And he would always ask me a question. He's all, "What are you doing for AA?" And I said, "I'm doing good. How are you?" And I would just like walk away from him, just be like, "Whatever, dude. Like, what are you talking about?" And I saw him and I said hey to him, and he said, "What are you doing for AA?" And I said, "I'm doing absolutely nothing for AA." And I said, "Will you help me? Will you sponsor me?" And he didn't say yes. He gave me his phone number. He said, call me every day for the next 7 days. And that really irritated me. And so when I get irritated, I want to prove to you that's just not going to work. And I got to the point in AA where I didn't come here to be miserable. I came here because I wanted a different kind of life, right? And I knew that I didn't want to drink anymore. I knew that that just wasn't I knew it was the solution for me, but I knew that my life was just going to go nowhere if I kept drinking that liquid delusion, because that's what alcohol did to me, man. It just changed my perception of everything. And I asked that man for help, and we met up, and he would tell me to get to the meeting next week at 7:00. Like 7:00, the meeting starts at 8, and it's a little excessive. And he said, maybe you should go find somebody who's going to sponsor you the way you want to be sponsored. And he would just hang out. And that would piss me off, and I'm so grateful for the men in AA that just went straight at me. They didn't come around the back door. They didn't come up and give me a hug and tell me we're going to love you till you can love yourself. Or they didn't tell me these things that I just could see right through, and I needed the truth. And the truth of the matter is things were a lot worse than I thought they were. And that man told me the truth a lot, and I didn't like it. And it really irritated me and it bothered me, but it fueled me, because I just wanted to prove to all of you that Alcoholics Anonymous does not work. So I can go back out there, get my own apartment, and peek out my own blinds for once, And so I did it. I did AA just to prove to you people it didn't work, I didn't believe in God, right? I didn't believe in any kind of spiritual experience, but the problem with that statement is that every time I was getting booked into jail, I was praying to somebody. Every time I got behind the wheel after leaving the bar at 1:00 in the morning to go downtown, I would hit my dashboard and rub it and say, "God, just get me there." So for a guy who doesn't believe in God, who the hell am I praying to? And I didn't realize that until years in Alcoholics Anonymous. Like deep down in every man, woman, and child is a fundamental idea of God. In the last analysis, it is only there he may be found. And what I've learned is that God is inside me, right? And that man took me through the steps, and he cleared away the wreckage of the present and cleared up the things that were blocking me from the sunlight of the spirit. And I started becoming a member of Alcoholics Anonymous, and I did a 4th and I did a 5th step. And I actually felt like I was a member here. And I actually had a kind of a good understanding of what my condition was. But I didn't have a full understanding of what my condition was. I don't think that came until about year 10, to be honest with you. And what that condition is that I just can't listen to my mind, even today. Because I'll tell you what, if I didn't get up and go pick Tony up and go to dinner and celebrate my friend's Victor's 30th birthday today with all of his sponsees, there's like 30, 40 people in there. You know what I would have done? I would have sat on my bed. I would have pretended to watch TV because it would have been on. My 2 dogs would be convinced that I'm watching TV. My 2 cats wouldn't give a shit what I'm doing. But I would just be thinking, why aren't I going? And I've learned that over time, like just get in the car and go. Like I cannot listen to my brain. My head cannot get me sober. The only thing that's going to get me sober is my feet. And, there's River City's been a good deal for me. I got there that night, and I've been there and been a service to the meeting for the last, going on 2.5 years now. And, one of the guys isn't here, one of our coffee guys, Jordan. Like Jordan opened up that door for a year straight, just like Nick's doing now, right? And to me, those people that are willing to get there at 5:30 when the meeting starts at 7:30 and then lock up the church after all of us get done talking, all right? And, we don't get out of there till 9 or 9:15. Like, those are the real heroes of the meeting, right? Those people that get there and are willing to spend 5 hours or 6 hours in an AA meeting. And if you're new to Alcoholics Anonymous and that sounds a little excessive, it is. It is. It is. If you really think about it, it is. The problem is that you're really thinking about it. So for me, what I want to do is, it doesn't matter what I'm thinking. I just got to show up and do it, right? And, I go to that meeting, we listen to a speaker and, we fly in a couple speakers a month and we've got a lot of people that are here tonight speak. And, man, it's just been a great experience, because it's not anybody's meeting. There's this group of people and this group of people and this group of people. And it's like I don't know, man, it's like a Friday night, you go to a meeting and you just see a bunch of people that you just don't see the rest of the week. And honestly, I don't know if it's anybody's home group. I don't know if it is, but we're all there and we're all part of that group, right? And we all become part of that group, and somehow we sit there and we make it all go. And what a great privilege it has been to be part of that meeting, and what a great privilege it is today, and to be here and to do the things that I continue to think that I don't want to do. The fact of the matter is I really want to do these things. There's nothing that I'd rather do today than sit here and be in a carpool with 10 cars and come down to a meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous and just be part of this thing, And if you're new in Alcoholics Anonymous, and you're here to get something, I hate to tell you, you may be in the wrong place, because there's absolutely nothing to get in AA. This is only a place to give. And when you give, your life changes. And that may sound a little harsh and a little more direct or whatever it may be, but that's been the truth for me, man. If I'm trying to come here and suck the life out of something, it's just not going to work, So I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm not here to tell you to get a sponsor or a book or, in fact, I think the best way to figure out if you're alcoholic is just sit here and do nothing. You'll find out real quick, But there's a line in the book that says, "We shall tell you what we have done." And the men in front of me have shown me what they have done. They have not given me their advice. They've not told me I should do this. They've talked about things that they have done in their own experience. And through that, I've been able to stay sober for a period of time, My sobriety date is March 27th of 2009. And I'm truly grateful to be an alcoholic today, and I'm grateful to be a part of River City. And thank you for all the people from Sacramento that are all here today, man. There's a lot of us. And if you guys ever have a Friday night free, come up and visit us. Sacramento's got some good AA, man. We got a lot of enthusiasm up there. And boy, I'm proud to be a part of that. Thank you.
Thank you to our wonderful speakers. Let's give them one more round of applause. So I will now turn the meeting over to Kiki for chip night.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kiki.